All right, folks, good morning. All right, just checking here. All right, I have to check, but I believe one of you just passed the funding challenge for this month today, and I'm sure there'll be more of you later, but I'll have that, I'll check on that later. So, either way, congrats, and like I said, more people to come. So, good job, guys. Now, before I forget, for the coaching session today, I'm going to be ending about 30 minutes early. I have a flight to catch, for the holidays in the early afternoon, so I'll be ending a little early for that broadcast. But either way, I'm here, and we're going to be looking for some trades. All right, so in the pre-market here, let's just review what happened yesterday. So yesterday was fairly good. I did check with the risk manager. We did have a very good number of you who did well overall. So here are some of the best symbols from yesterday. Not in any particular, well, I'll just list them in the order of their overall performance for the day. So first up is VRNA right here. Okay, this was one of the symbols that was identified pretty early in the session. That was one of the group of, that was one of the original 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stocks that were identified pre-market. So we have that. And good morning, Edwin. Good morning, Bruce. So looking here, we had our first part of the move there. A little choppy, but it moved basically from about $17 up to $19.28, flat after that, and then broke out again at the end of the day. That started at about 1:30 Eastern. 2:30 Eastern. Sorry, when this move started. So, a couple opportunities there. He did have a false start there. It looked like it was going to break out, and it failed. Didn't totally fail, just came backwards, went sideways for a bit, and then broke out. So didn't reverse. So that one had some good opportunities. Now, next up, one of the ones I preferred was PAAS. Okay, so this was a smooth mover, very smooth mover, very steady. Now, I didn't identify that very early, but definitely early enough to take advantage of. So this one was on a pretty good hike for a while. So I didn't see it at the beginning of the day. Basically saw it right around here or so, or maybe even in here. But either way, there was a good opportunity to get into that, and just kept going up. Then went sideways, and that was it. Okay. So this one was good, and it actually went to the targets that we had set as well. So very good trade opportunity there. Next up, didn't really harp on this much, but Novavax. Now Novavax was up small percentage yesterday. Right, so here it is at the open, and definitely a nice move up, and then after that, nice move down. And there were lots of other stocks. AMRS was another one. Now AMRS, it had a nice move up at first, which was the part that, of course, we were mostly looking for. So right over here, nice move up, and then really nice move down. So exploitable in both directions. Not a bad deal. Good morning, John. So not a bad deal there. SLNO was another. Now SLNO, it didn't go up actually; it was down for the most part. Went flat, but we did look for opportunities in that yesterday, but nothing really came up. So therefore, no trade there, or at least nothing that I thought would be usable. Now we also had the biggest runner, but then it fell apart. But still, it had its run at the beginning of the day and then sold off, which of course was something that might have been exploited as well. So here is ATNF, and there is the beginning of the session. Now you can see it was up big the previous day, and then it sold off, and then on sorry, going blank here. Sorry, on Tuesday, the stock basically went flat for a while. Then it broke out about an hour into the day, really start to move. So we did see it and had a nice move up. This was definitely something I pointed out as it was breaking out. Then goes sideways and then sells off later. So definitely a good opportunity there. Other than that, ICCM started off moving. This one was a big mover from another day. It did move well. It started to move big in the post market on the 19th. Then it opened, had a quick run up, and then that was it. So small move, but definitely exploitable. Good morning, Gene. And other than that, that was pretty much it for the best movers. I mean, there were other stocks too that were moving yesterday, but pretty much those were all the big ones. All right, so as I mentioned yesterday when I looked over the prop reports for all of the funder members who are in the challenge at the moment, I looked over your results, and as I pointed out, you guys are doing best on stocks that are moving, and that's one of the reasons why I say it's very important to focus your attention on finding stocks, much more attention on that than on developing very sophisticated trading techniques. I mean, being able to read candlestick patterns and things like that is fine, but the reality is, unless you're picking the right stocks, none of that really is going to get you over the hump. So the selection process is everything. Also, being willing to take more than one attempt at something that looks good. You got to be comfortable with the idea that you take you try it once, quickly on a smaller risk, it doesn't work. Okay, you get out. Then something starts to move again, you try again. There's nothing wrong with that. You just have to be willing to let it go quickly if it doesn't follow through quickly. So we're aiming at getting into stocks exactly at the time when they're starting to move. We don't want to get parked into a stock that's not really doing anything. So for those of you who are doing the best, that's one of the things that you are clearly doing very well. So for those who aren't, make sure you do that too. Now, as of this moment, just going to take a quick look around to see if any stocks that were moving recently look like they're doing a lot today. All right, so just kind of review some stocks that had some decent moves recently that I haven't already brought up. Nothing there for this morning. So let me look around at my pre-market scanner. So right now, COSM looks active again. I'm not chasing after this. It did move well yesterday, I should point out, but it was towards the end of the day. Actually, sorry, in the middle of the day. So here's COSM. First it was selling off, and then it turned the corner here, and then start to break out here and really accelerated right in this area there. So that was definitely exploitable. This was a very significant move, $6 to over $8, over 30% right there. So this one was definitely something that was exploitable if you guys were looking. So make sure you got your watch list queued up so that way you don't miss things like this. But also you know that this is a stock that moves, so it's always a good idea to keep an eye on it. As of right now, it's trading lower than yesterday's close, but it is spiking a little bit in the pre-market. So probably this one is a good idea to watch again. So I'll put COSM back on a list for today. Okay, so just adding that back again. All right, next, let's see. ATNF looks active pre-market. I'm just not sure yet if that's one we want to watch at the open. So I'll come back to it later in the coaching session, but that one looks a little questionable right now. LASE, never heard of this stock, but it's up quite a bit. LASE is the symbol. There it is. Now, this stock closed at 153 yesterday. And you can tell that the chart's pretty spotty, not a lot of smooth, consistent trading on that one. But right now, you can see that pre-market activity, some time and sales data coming in. It's up 19%, 2.3 plus million shares, $1.82, $1.84. Looking like a potential winner here. So news-wise, let's see, Laser Photonics receives order from the largest glass manufacturer in North America. So that's the news. Okay, so I guess that's good. So I will add LASE as a stock we're going to watch at the open. And again, all we're doing here, folks, in case you're new to this, is we're just looking for stocks that are active in the pre-market, right? We want to see which stocks are moving, look like they've got something interesting going on. You know, we want to make sure we're keeping an eye out for stocks that look like they want to do something. So as I say, look for stocks that appear like they're agitated, they're trying to move, they can't sit still, right? That's the one you want to look for. So usually that's because something's going on, so therefore we want to look for those stocks. Okay. Let's keep looking. All right, so this is curated. The percentages we see here are based on today, so that's where these stocks are today. So currently, our NAZ is up 29.91%, but it's a 43 cents stock. So this is not in the price range that we want, and the volume's not as high as we want either. But we do keep an eye on these under dollar stocks at times, because sometimes, like COSM, they show signs that they may be potential movers later. So if I see any stock that keeps trading unusually large volume and volatility for days and days, and in the case of COSM for more than 2 weeks, we want to make sure that's on our list. Now, I did remove COSM, if you guys recall, from our list, I think the day before it had the reverse split and took off. Of course, we still caught it, but the reason I took it off was because it still was slumping. It kept getting lower in price. But once it turned the corner, that was when I wanted to add it back to the list. So I'm still scanning around either way, but we also don't want to have too many stocks. I'm going to try to cut down the number of stocks on this list if I can over the weekend while I'm over on vacation. I just want to look through this list and see if I can cut it down. All right. Lucid already trading on nearly 400,000 shares, which I don't think is normal for the stock pre-market, but it's only up 2.49%. So Lucid, I don't think needs to be watched closely at the open, but looks like it does have some bullish intentions. So we'll see. Let's see what else we got. Nothing there. Nothing there. So just looking for some significant pre-market volume. PCAR, 500,000 shares. Cisco also 500,000 shares. Let's take a quick look at these and see what's going on. This one's barely moved, so only 0.3% change. Doesn't appear there's any major news, so we might see some movement at the open, but I'll skip that as something to watch. Same thing for Cisco. Good volume, but not really moving much, only 0.4% change. So we don't want to. Also, Cisco's been mostly tracking the NASDAQ, as you can see over here. It's not doing anything much more than what the NASDAQ is doing, so not looking very attractive to me. PCAR also the same thing, just too in sync with the NASDAQ, no real volatility. So even though the volume's there, we're not seeing all the other metrics that we want, so I'll have to skip that one. Both of those. Nothing here. Nothing here. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing. Okay, so let's get into our negatives. Let's see. Nothing so far. I already noted COSM, as I mentioned. This one looks like, you can see all the quotes. Looks like it's going to move. Currently, it says it's down 3% from where it closed yesterday. Not a large decline, by the way. That's very small for this stock. But as I mentioned, it looks like it's starting to move pre-market to the upside. So I will watch this very closely at the open. You need two. Not maximum. That I would stick with two watch lists. One general list like this one, and one specifically only for what's happening at the open. Now, on my layout, I don't have it configured that way, but you do want to keep a close watch on the stocks that you have on your list for the open. So you want to have a separate grouping for that, if that makes sense. So if I've got 5 stocks that I want to watch at the opening bell, I want to have them separate. So I can do that a couple of ways. I can just queue up a new list. I can make one on the fly just by clicking the plus button here, and I can create one every morning. Right? So, but I always have 2 lists running. As far as static watch list, I have 2 lists running. As far as scanning, I'm scanning all over the place. You guys can't see all of that on the screen, but I have another screen that I'm basically watching scanners for. MDIA, let's check it out. Media Holdings, okay. Yeah, that's up 30% from where it was. It closed at 106. Okay, that looks like something that should be watched. Let's take a look at why it's up. A good one. Let's see. Now my guess is that it might. Yes. Okay. So I'm not sure why that doesn't. It probably isn't enough volume to show up on one of my pre-market scans, but still a good find either way. Just was a little bit, it looks like it just was a tad bit under the radar of what I scanned for pre-market, which is a little complicated. I'll just leave it at that. But anyway, So here we have MDIA, and if we look at it, this is clearly Poppy, clearly a very active stock, nice movement. It's a NASDAQ stock, up 33.65%. I think that's a worthy addition to our group here. So I'll go ahead and add that into our list. And as far as the news goes, here it is. They announced a share repurchase program. They're going to repurchase no more than $2 million worth of shares. Smaller stocks, so $2 million in shares, I guess, means something to them, but that's a very small number. But it's enough to get this thing moving. So MDIA is on the radar, but I have to emphasize that is a very small dollar amount of a buyback, but I guess it means something. Probably this stock doesn't have a huge float, meaning that there might not be that many shares outstanding for this stock, so I'm guessing that's why. All right, so MDIA. We'll see what happens with it. I don't see any real clear targets for it, but I'll go over that in the coaching room. We'll go over our roadmap. So there it is up there. Let's also look at today's economic news. All right, so for today, let me refresh this. For today, we've got consumer confidence at 10 Eastern. So that's going to be about 1 hour and change. So at that time, we'll see what consumer confidence is. Then we'll get existing home sales and then crude oil inventories. And that'll be it for Wednesday. Now, as a reminder, again, I will be leaving. I'll be flying out today to Maryland. I will be broadcasting tomorrow, and while I'm there, except Monday morning, I probably won't be able to broadcast. I'll have to confirm that, but I think my flight's in the middle of the day, so that might make it impossible. The room will be up, but I won't be there giving out locating stocks on Monday. At least that's the way it looks right now. Okay, so I'll double check my flight schedule, but just giving everyone a heads up on that. Other than that, today will probably be somewhat active because of this consumer confidence, so we probably will get some movement off of that. All right, in the next 6 minutes, let me just see. And also, we're in the finalization of the deal we're setting up for you guys for the screener here with Madison Trading House. So that way you guys will be able to use this too if you want, right? Nothing you're required to use, but as you get further into this, always good to have some good tools to find opportunities. So SPRY looks like, I remember seeing this yesterday, but I think the volume wasn't high enough. Yeah, that's probably what it was. So only 236,000 shares on average. But lots of money flow in the stock, lots of buying going on. Does have enough data. I don't know, I think this one I might add to our list. I don't really want to add too many. Let's see, 795 to 9. Yeah. Okay. Since it's active right now, I didn't add it yesterday, but I'm going to add that SPRY. I'm just going to add it to our general list. SPRY is a symbol. ARS Pharmaceuticals is not moving as much as I would want, but since it's trading at an extreme price point right now, I think that would be worth looking at. MetaWound, okay, that's a clear gap higher. Wow, So that must have been yesterday. So what was the volume like? Well, I don't have volume on the chart. Yeah. I'll come back to that later then. Volume, average volume. Okay. So, big jump in institutional ownership. Money flows up. Okay. So this one looks interesting. I mean, I can't deny it. That looks interesting. So MDWD is now on our list. And I don't think it's doing anything pre-market, but let me see. No, it's not. Okay. LFRX. Let's see. Or IFRX. I'm not sure about that one. Let me see. I don't know. Not a huge amount of volume pre-market. It's kind of up in the air on this one. There's definitely trading. The pre-market volume's kind of low. Percentage change is decent. I don't know. I don't know if this makes sense to put it down as a priority to watch at the open, but let's keep an eye on it today, I guess, and see what it does. But not. I wouldn't say it's a priority right now. I forgot to add MDIA on the list here. Forgot to add that. All right. Let's see if I can find anything else. Got about 2 minutes here. We already have some at RTG. So these are all stocks we already have, so nothing new there. Okay. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be. Well, we'll see. I don't know if that's going to be something we're adding. But that's kind of just to keep everyone disciplined. But I hear you. But the level 2 is definitely what we want to look at anyway. AGNC. Just not a significant percentage change, not a significant volume. So I don't see any reason to watch at the opening bell. But may do something intraday, but not looking like it's going to be a mover today as far as the way it's behaving right now. All right, so let me do a quick look back at all the things that we already looked at and make sure we've got all of our best opportunities in front of us. Okay, so that's everything. I'll look at it really quick and then I'll jump into the coaching room. It's at 0.74%, small volume, so not really looking that interesting at the open. Under 19,000 shares, 0.74% change in price. Not really looking that promising at the pre-market. Now we don't know what's going to do at the bell, but it doesn't appear that there's a lot of people watching it right now pre-market, so we'll see. All right, folks, I'm going to jump into the coaching room here. Everyone have a great trading day. If you're not in the coaching room, be sure to join fundertrading.com is the website. See you guys in the coaching room in just a second.